What's up, everybody? Goodman, you want to talk in the mic again?
Does it work?
It's working pretty dang good to me.
What happened to the intro music?
Ain't no intro music anymore.
She gone.
No, it's already been played.
All right.
So tonight we got me, Goodman, which is a main member of our crew, and Zach Young. Zach, it's been a long time coming for you to come to, one, do the podcast, and two, come and do a hunt.
I know. We've been fishing together for I think this is our third year now. And then we only hunted together once.
Second or third year, yeah. And then one hunt, I think.
One hunt, and that was 3-4 years ago.
Has it been that long already?
Been a long time. We're overdue. It's
Holy
time.
Smokes. Because there's been a couple times this year where we talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then, pregnant wife.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, family situations and stuff, it's been a little bit difficult.
Yep.
So, Zach, you've been on a podcast previously that is not on this page.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to kind of just introduce yourself and, I guess, say who you are, where you're from?
Yep.
All above, I guess you want to say?
The whole bio.
Yeah.
So my name's Zach Young. I'm from the west side of Michigan. So made a 2.5-3 hour drive to the east side today.
Is that all?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, 2.5-3 hours. Depends on traffic.
Oh.
So, yep. Didn't bring a boat today. Normally I do the last couple trips. So, yeah, two and a half. From the west side, I'm I wouldn't say a big time duck hunter. I'm just a guy that duck hunts a lot. Really, I'm passionate about it, and my goal is to shoot and mount the 41 species of ducks and geese. And so I'm actually hunting with Kyle tomorrow, and then hitting the road and heading to Massachusetts to go shoot my, hopefully, common eider.
I was just say that's as my phone's going off for tomorrow's hunt. I was gonna say, like, the plan on, or the reasoning of being on this side of the state this time anyway. But can you kind of explain, because you're probably the only person that I know that is chasing all the species of birds, and the person that I know that has hunted the most states.
Yeah.
But I also want to say, like, I kind of want Goodman to say what you were saying beforehand.
Not following completely, but
hey, how's it going?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was
that was the catchphrase.
Yeah.
you were asking me to introduce myself. Yeah, I've been on a couple podcasts now, but I just been hunting with Kyle a couple of years now. This is my second, but
Seeing your bird hunting, right?
Yeah.
You went last year? Yeah, you went last year, obviously.
So just trying to learn how everything goes and having a great time this year.
So are you a new duck hunter then?
Yeah, last year was my first season. So
did you get hooked super quick?
Yeah. I mean, I went out with you guys last year. Second half of the year, I was there all the time, and then this year, I've pretty much been
every
hunt.
But I mean,
work's been restricting me a little bit this year, but other than that, yeah, I try and come out as often as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's awesome.
And that's what's tough about it, like with our group wise, which I feel like we're like kind of getting off topic of like the hunting for like what is it, 41?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's tough because, like, I out of all people, I think Goodman understands like how lucky, I guess, to be able to hunt like the fields and the spots where he has hunted compared to, like, I mean, you probably know where your first or second year bird hunting was. It was probably a marsh where other, like,
Fish Point.
Yeah, 100 other people would go there. You know what I mean? You're like shooting what? 5 birds.
If I was lucky, 1 or 2.
Yeah, but that's a solid hunt. I think, like, your first hunt, we probably. Damn, do you remember your first hunt?
Yeah, my first hunt was actually a dud. We didn't shoot anything, but still had a great time.
That's
and
good,
but yeah, I've definitely been pampered into the experience to have Kyle guide me along here. Not guide, but
No.
along for the ride with Kyle.
Watch it, dude.
I know, but yeah, everything's been awesome, and I know I hear the stories about you and your first time hunting, and like you just said, you're lucky to get one. I didn't really get that experience. I've had that with other species, but not duck hunting, not goose hunting, and just to have the experience that we have almost every weekend is unreal.
Yeah, well, and that's why as you probably see it or whatever it may be. It's so nice to have like the family and friends and people like Goodman and my dad and sister and her fiance now and our redheaded stepchild Devin. Even though we gotta like hold his hand in the dark because I tell you what, man, he is 30-something years old, and I swear to you, we still gotta hold his hand walking out there because he's scared of the dark. Have you ever met somebody like that?
Not you
quite will that. Tomorrow.
Right.
You will tomorrow.
Wait, first for everything.
But it's so nice to have like the family and friends out there like that and having a good time every weekend and stuff. It's I'm sure you feel that way with hunting with your buddies on the west side as well.
Yeah. Yep.
But let's kind of break it down to like what kind of made you want to chase the 41? Obviously everybody wants to.
Sure. Yeah, I don't really know. One day it just kind of clicked, like I'm gonna do this, and then it's just been trips after trips. In the lower 48 last year, I hunted as far north and as far south as you could go, and this year I'm going relatively speaking as far east and as far west as you can go. I'm headed to the East Coast tomorrow morning or tomorrow after our hunt in the morning for my common hider, and then in 3 weeks I'm headed to California for my cinnamon teal. And then last year was, I hunted South Florida and pretty far up there in North Dakota as well. Just, a lot of traveling. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of ready to just get back to like regular buddy hunting. Yeah. I'm just too ADD to quit. I started this, journey or whatever you want to call it with shooting the Grand Slam. And I can't stop until it's done. But I'm ready for it to be done and just get back to the roots, shooting puddle ducks and geese with my buddies, at home.
And that's what's tough too for like even us wise. Like sometimes it's like obviously. How long have we been sitting in this room in the studio? I guess you want to say or call it hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I don't think my phone has stopped since we sat here.
Yeah, it's not stopped.
And I'm kind of like, and we talked about it a little bit before we even started the podcast. Like, it's almost like I want to like kind of dumb it down a little bit to a lower group for us. But the buddy hunts are just the absolute best hunts there are.
They're untouched.
Yeah,
it's sure you can go to such and such state and shoot that trophy duck, whatever. But at the end of the day, 10 out of 10 times I choose mallards with my buddies, whether it's here on the east side or back home on the west side.
Yeah, no, for sure. How many guys you guys usually run with on the west side?
We're pretty small groups. So, early season, max in September for geese, max, 5 guys. And then, for the most part, 3 to 5 guys. We do the occasional, or I do the occasional solo or two mans, but 3 to 5 is kind of my number. It's comfy, you don't have to worry about, not that it's a problem, but if you got a big group and there's the one wild card who's pulling up before the shot call.
No, that good one?
Hey, I like the big groups on here and there.
Whatever, dude. Sit out tomorrow then.
Right?
No. Yeah. So out of the 41 though, how many are you in right now?
As far as birds shot, I don't have the exact number offhand, but it's right around the 30 mark as far as birds mounted towards, mounting the Grand Slam.
Your wife loves you, doesn't
she? Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah. I think I'm 10 birds mounted with 12 at the taxidermist, and then from last year, then I brought 1 so far this year to the taxidermist. So I'm probably 22 done, and then I got, 2 pretty big trips. So hopefully by the end of the season, I'll be around 30 or so mounted.
You need a
That's
loan?
wild.
Because, I mean, I'll take a loan from him. If you need one, too, we might as well
Shit,
both
dude.
take a loan from him.
I ain't got that kind of money. See, I thought I'd be
You
smart.
got 12 birds at the taxidermy.
Bro, this is true. I thought I'd be smart and marry a doctor, which is what I did.
Yeah.
All I ended up doing was inheriting $170,000 in
Oh,
student
my
loan debt.
goodness.
That backfired on me pretty quick.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this because you're shit-talking your baby
No,
mama.
I love my wife. She lets me go on all these trips and all that. She's cool as hell.
And that's what we talked about, too. Like, she's, 7 months pregnant right now?
Yeah. Yep.
And I am shocked that, like, she was cool with all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
Absolutely.
awesome. She lets me, I mean, next month it's California, and she lets me do all, I mean, I had to make up for it on the back end and, do all the white girl stuff and pumpkin patches and flannel shirts and stuff the rst of the year, but,
It's definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah, to go do this, yeah.
Definitely worth it. What are you aiming for in California?
So a lot of birds I've already shot. I'm trying to kill over there just to get the studs for the wall.
Okay.
But the main one that I'm targeting is hopefully my cinnamon teal, which is kind of like a 60-40 kind of deal there.
Yeah.
Just hopefully you time it right and you might get 2-3 opportunities and hopefully you don't miss.
Right.
But otherwise I'm trying to get my spoonie, stud, January, spoonie, pintail, widgeon, green wing for the wall.
Okay.
And then at that point, assuming I do all those things, I will then have every puddle duck mounted.
Wow.
Fortunately, last year with Florida, I got all the tree ducks and all that out of the way.
Wow. I mean, for you, Goodman, with you just starting last year, is there any like bucket list birds that you're kind of wanting to go for?
I mean, I don't even know that much about it. I have seen recently a picture of someone that shot the stud cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
That is a beautiful bird.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I don't
gorgeous.
even have a single mount, so I don't know.
I
would
really
start, but,
wish
that
last
one duck last
yeah,
week. Yeah,
yeah.
I probably should have saved that one, but
Which duck was that?
it was.
just
I don't know if you've seen it on the. I posted it on Wednesday after I did the solo podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It was a single mallard, but it was just a solid triple curl Drake mallard, just real
Just
big,
a stud.
beefy. How you pick up those Drake mallards and you can just tell right in your hand, where you're like, man, this is like a solid
Mm-hmm.
duck to mount. And then there's others that are like, well, it's kind of beat up, and even if it wasn't beat up, I don't know. But that was a. Did you see that post or no?
I'm trying to look for it right now and show you.
I'll show you the post because I got it right here on my phone. It was this picture right there. It was just a solid,
dude, that's a stud.
yeah. That was after the fact of Ellie picking it up too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was after the dog retrieve and stuff. And with him not ever mounting anything, they always say a mallard or drake is like an asshole. Everybody's got one on the wall. You know what I mean? But that one, I mean, it was just a solid duck. And
Mm-hmm.
out of the entire hunt, that was probably the best duck that we shot, which was crazy though, because so not to kind of go back onto this hunt and get away from you being here and stuff, but last week we had the hole. There was an inch of ice on the water. And I thought to myself, hey, it's going to warm up during the weekend. If we can be the first water that's open, that might be pretty good for us. Because, mind you, it's frozen. There's no ducks or anything going into it. So I was if we're the first water that's opened up, that might be pretty good for the birds that are searching for open water.
Mm-hmm.
So we took our ice, quote unquote, ice eaters out there, which are just the trolling motors, and we take the 2 batteries out there and stuff. And I think it was 2 days later, I sent Goodman out there to scout it, and he calls me. He's all giddy and stuff. I'm like, dude, what's going on, man? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? He's like, dude, they're here, man. I was like, what's here? What are you talking about? What are you seeing? He's like, there's so many ducks around right now, man. It's absolutely insane. I was walking up to the hole because the fields, the corn's still up and stuff, and you have to walk past the corn. Maybe we'll take a ride by it tomorrow after we get done, just so you can kind of see what's going on. But we walk out there and stuff, or he walks out there. And I was like, dude, send me a picture, man. Send me a picture. It's just absolutely loaded up. Like there's like one little open water hole, and it's just absolutely perfect. But it was so nice to see like a plan come together. Like just you kind of think it might work, but because like the night before, I had a buddy that was out there helping me put 2 new batteries out there and another ice heater out there. And I was like, hey, man, like, you know, obviously you guys are more than welcome to come. It was like the Dirty 30, and I think it was just Justin was out there that owns like the Dirty 30 crew, which I don't know if you've seen us post about him or not. But I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Obviously, you guys are more than welcome to come out and hunt with us. But I don't know if all this work is going to help, or we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. And to see everything kind of come together and the hunt that came about it, dude, I mean, that right there was probably one of my favorite hunts out of the year. Just like I said, like the process behind it all and like the thought, like just thinking of it, you know, some of those hunts, I feel like it's so nice to like see a vision and it coming true, and then going out there and absolutely stacking the birds wise.
Right.
You know?
And you guys killed it that day.
Yeah, we did
you
really
said,
good.
What, 10 man, I think you said?
Yeah, so it was 2 years in a row, and I think Goodman was there last year too.
Yep.
So it was the same day where I was told that I didn't know how to kill ducks.
I heard about that.
And I took the guy out, and we shot a 10 man last year, and the same day this year, and we shot a 10 man. Not as many geese. I think we shot like 26 geese last year. We only shot 6 geese this year, but it was in a cut field last year. And I called that guy right after the hunt and bitched him out right after that, just for saying that. And that was the whole point of like the post today. But yeah, it was a very solid hunt. Yeah, and we're so thankful for that hole this year, because I mean,
it's been a tough year.
As Goodman knows, it was like it's that hole or our buddy's pond and maybe 1 or 2 other fields, and if that, like it's been slow, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, how many ducks have we even shot out of the field? Like a dry field?
I don't think any.
I don't think so.
This year, I went out and shot my first dry field mallards this year.
Okay.
First time. And we've tried. You know, it was not for lack of trying. And finally, just all the stars aligned, and we shot our 3-man.
You guys pound them over there, dude.
Yeah. We do all right. But it's got to be. Michigan's weird, dude. I mean, you know, you go to North Dakota, you're shooting dry field mallards, you know, well, the whole time, whole season. Over here, dude, not until it's snow or cold, snowy, whatever. For the most part, you'll get some ducks buzzing by, but you're not going to go shoot. That was one of those hunts the other day where we should have brought 10 guys. Right. We would have shot a 10-man.
And I hate those hunts, too, because, like, you're like, dude, and I almost feel like tomorrow's going to be that same way. Because, like, I don't know how tomorrow's going to go, but at the same time, I feel like it's going to go really good, though.
Sometimes you just get a feeling.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll be honest with you, man, like, over on the east side here, we've had some really, really good luck with mallards in dry fields, like, throughout the entire year.
That's cool.
Like, and it sucks because the guys that we bring out either never... maybe even say shot a duck or shot field mallards. So every time we bring those guys out, we never shoot mallards in the field. But the day that they leave, we just absolutely pound the shit out of them. But like I feel like we have like really good luck with mallards out in the field.
Last year we did, and we had a good opportunity Saturday. It just did not pan out.
Yeah, Saturday, dude, first light, we're like, oh man, I was like, oh, there's ducks right out in front of us. And they're like, where at? And I was like, straight out in front of us. We probably had, 300 mallards laying out in the middle of the field, solid white duck laying out in the middle of the field. Like, they were just loaded in the field.
Like a blonde mallard?
It was an Aflac duck, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But don't know where it came from. It could have came from, like, the city park, or it could have been a flight bird. I don't know, to be honest with you. I've never seen it personally out here.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, it's been sweet to shoot.
Right.
But go ahead. What were you saying though?
No, the person we hunted with, I forget his name. He kept calling it a blondie. I don't know if it was or not though.
Who was it?
Was it Dylan?
Oh yeah, Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a solid white dog.
Yeah.
It was solid white. In the hunt that he's talking about, I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm taking the 4-wheeler out there. That way the ducks aren't going to be out there anymore. And park the 4-wheeler out there, and we'll be good to go. They'll start decoying towards us to the spinners and stuff. I drive the 4-wheeler out there, dude. I'm ripping through the field. I'm going 30, 40 miles an hour. Did you watch that or no? So I'm ripping through there, dude, and all of a sudden I hit this wet patch, and I was like, oh, it's probably just skim water or whatever. I just rev it up a little bit more, dude. The water goes over top of the 4-wheeler. It just drenches me. And then I was like, okay, now I know why the ducks are out in the middle of the field like this, because the entire middle of the field was 6-7 inches of water out there.
Oh, dang.
And it's literally going to be across the road from where we're hunting tomorrow. But we had the 4-wheeler out there and stuff, and absolutely not a single bird would work us. Not a bird. And mind you, what was it, 400 or 500 yards, I'd say?
Yeah.
Probably right around there. I mean
they were flying right over us at some point.
Yeah, but
not all of them, but
the 4-wheeler wise though.
Oh yeah.
The 4-wheeler was probably that far out.
Yep.
And we're like, man, I don't know why they're not coming in. We pull the 4-wheeler out of there. As my dad's pulling that 4-wheeler out, our first flock of geese work in perfectly. After that, every goose that's seen the spread,
right up.
Oh, right in, dude. You barely even. I mean, there was some calling stuff where like you had to some you had to call a lot too. Some they didn't want any calling and stuff like that. But I mean, they were right in your face though the entire time. And the worst part about the hunt was, I think we shot 5 out of 2 groups.
Oh yeah, our shooting was pretty awful that day.
So mind you, we shot 5, I think maybe 1 or 2 times out of 2 different groups. Every other group that we shot into was 2 to 4, I think.
Yeah. We could have limited it out for sure. But.
So if you yeah, for sure. So if you take that into consideration of 2 to 4 every single flock, I mean that's horrible with 11 guys, you know what I mean? It was terrible. I mean, you guys' season over there been kind of the same way though, like just slow.
Yeah, it's been, every time you think we're gonna get the big push, we got the weather, we got the north winds, we got just the real ducky weather, snow, rain, whatever, on top of a north wind. We're thinking like, all right, it's happening. Here we go, and then it just never really seemed to happen.
Right.
We were. I mean, even now, like when I said the other day, like, man, I wish we would have brought 10 guys. Those are all local birds, or at least a majority of them, a large percentage. We just haven't had the big push yet, and even at this point too, like we got the split coming up in 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
And I'm thinking like just based on what I'm seeing on weather now, I don't know if it's gonna happen then. It's just one of those years. They happen. It is what it is, but
it's tough because I feel like we've had a push. Don't get me wrong, because we shot birds that were way out of like Moosonee and
right around Thanksgiving time we had.
Yeah, that's where we shot the bands too. Actually, now that you say that, but we've had a push, but I don't think we've had the push.
No,
you know what I mean.
I think exactly. There's been small pushes. We haven't had the push.
I think that most of the people are that are shooting birds because I feel like me and you are pretty frequent on social media. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anybody that's really been tearing it up.
No, me neither.
And I think that the birds that we are shooting, the majority of them anyway, are just the local birds that are just joining up in one big main roost in a sense. Mm-hmm. And then feeding. It's not like September where they're all spread out. Now they're just together. I don't think we've got the push because I want to say, and don't mark my words, I think Canada's still open right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I know that a week or two ago, I was reading up on it, and a large part of Saskatchewan and Alberta, like nothing had locked up.
Yeah.
And they were just driving by it and saying like, oh man, you can just see nothing but black spots on the water, just ducks and geese out there, and it's not pushing.
And I almost
hopefully they are now. I don't know. I haven't checked.
Right. Yeah. Well, who knows with the south wind that's pushing through right now? Yeah. I mean, it's what, December.
Dude, I swear that there was a reverse migration. Like I'm seeing stud blue-winged teal be shot in Michigan, which I've never seen before. Like this time of year.
That's true. That is true.
I think it's very well possible that, this weather's throwing them off so much that, and south winds, the opposite of what's supposed to, it could be happening. I don't know.
For sure, I could see that. I could see that for sure, like the south migration. Because, I mean, you always hear about that too, because Sean, our buddy that we talked about, he shot the blues and the specks and the Rosses like on a reverse migration. Kind of probably this time of year, but obviously different temperatures and stuff. But that south wind does a lot more than people think on birds.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a weird year, and for us over here anyway. I don't know about you guys. As soon as the fields are cut, it seems like they're tilled right under.
Yeah, we get a little bit of that. It doesn't sound like for me it's quite as big of a problem as what it is for you.
Really?
No, I mean it happens, but we're still fortunate enough to not have that be too big of a problem.
You guys are lucky then, because I mean I feel what
every single field.
Do you guys run into like tiling issues at all?
So our main farmer tiles everything.
Oh, really?
And then so he like all the fields are bone dry there. And then and I think that's why I think I maybe brought it up to you, but I haven't seen one bean field feed this year. Usually we see like October, November, it's like all bean fields around us that the birds are in. And we haven't seen that one time this year. And maybe it's just because they're getting turned over so fast. But we haven't seen one of those this year. And I don't know. It's just been a very off year and a struggle and a discouraging year, I guess you want to say, with all the work that we put in and stuff. It's just been a discouraging year.
Yeah.
It really sucks. I don't know what kind of like pressure, I guess, on your side do you see with hunters
in September? It's heavy.
Is
really
it
heavy? Yeah. Opening weekends, obviously, same thing.
Right. Right.
The rest of the year, though, I feel like it's not bad. I really don't have to. I got one person that I compete with, and at this point, it's not even a competition. We're just buddies.
Right.
I don't really hunt without him, or he doesn't really hunt without me, or if we do, we're talking about it.
Do I know this one?
Yep, you do.
Okay.
And it's been a good relationship. He's
That's
actually
good,
it's my buddy Heath. He's the one who set me up with the guy in California. That's not a guide. It's just a.
Oh, really?
No, it's not. It's not guided. It's just a buddy that I was introduced to through this guy. So I don't have. I wouldn't say I have a ton of competition throughout the regular season. Pretty much only during the split, early season, and any opening weekend, whether that's middle or south zone. I don't really mess around with the north zone in Michigan.
So I have so many questions for you, dude, because like even like the last podcast, like I remember questions that I was like, dude, what? Like you do that over there? And I never even thought about that. Like the OnX stuff that we talked about, like the hills and the fields and stuff like that. Yeah. We'll hopefully get to it if I don't forget about it. But I didn't even forget what I was going to ask you.
I don't know, but I'll say I showed you that Facebook post I saw. Someone shot a mandarin duck in Michigan recently.
Yeah, a couple. I saw that last weekend, and
stuff.
The dude I was just talking about, my buddy Heath, the guy that set me up in California, he shot a mandarin duck where I'm from.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was. I think the story was that it was escaped from some bird
zoo or
something like that. Yeah, and there was like 4 of them that escaped, and he killed one. A couple other people killed him, and he hunted this thing for weeks, and crazy. Finally, right place, right time, and got it. But
I think that me and you talked about that.
Yeah.
When you first came on, and I got introduced to Heath.
Yeah. I mean,
which I still got to have him on.
I mean, I mean, good for him. I mean, that's like, I mean, to stay on top of that bird as well as he did, and wherever it was the day before, he's knocking on doors, getting permission. I mean, that's
a dream bird.
Yeah.
Like, that is a insane bird. Even the Harlequins that your buddy shot this year, like even those in Michigan, dude. Like,
I got to talk about that. So
go ahead.
So my main crew that I hunt with, they have a really cool like tender boat for layout hunts and all that on big water. And they're out there anytime the weather's right, which in West Michigan is tough because if it's not an east wind, you ain't going.
Right, right. Well,
where I am at least in West Michigan,
east wind.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's weird because the east wind here is terrible too. So it's weird that east wind for you guys is bad.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Because the shore wise.
Yeah, I mean, east wind, so blown from the east to the west, so we have all that land on the west side blocking us, so we can be in, and also, like, a lot of sea duck hunters, chasing, like, longtails and scoters and whatnot, like, over here on the east side, they're hunting a lot of times in, like, 30, 40, or shallower foot of water, but for us, we're out to, like, 100 foot of water, 75 foot of water, so it's a pain on the west side.
You're talking about wind coming from the mainland, though, right?
Mm-hmm. We got that whole land blocking us. If we got an east wind, we're out. Talk to anybody on the west side. East wind, they're out there, yeah. So, which is tough because it's not, it's not the most common wind this time of year. So anytime we get the east wind, they're out there. And probably 80% of the time I go with this crew, our normal, field and sea duck hunting crew that I'm always with. And they had hit me up and said, hey, Monday's an east wind. Can you make it out there? And I got a job.
Right.
I can get away with quite a bit. I'll go for an hour or two before work and show up at 9 kind of thing. That's not uncommon, but when you're doing that, you're not getting back to the dock until noon, and I can't make it. Sorry. So they went out, just 2 of them, shot a freaking stud Harlequin.
2?
Stud. 2. Just the one. The post I showed you today was in Saginaw, just some other guy.
Okay. I got
see it. Yeah. No, but this is like my good buddy. His dad is my taxidermist, stud Harlequin. Like 20 years, this guy's been out there doing this, chasing old squaw. Like they live for old squaw. And they finally got one. And
how is that layout boat hunting,
bro? It's awesome. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did, but it's pretty freaking awesome. It's tough to beat. No, I would choose mallards 100% of the time, over that, but. Just to get out there and shoot them, and we're not just shooting them and throwing them away. Like we make what we're calling squassage, our old squaw sausage. It's I don't make it. The one dude in our group, Ken, does, and does a great job with it, and it's a blast. Have you ever done it?
I've never. I mean, I've got offers before, but it's tough because
mallards are.
As you see tonight, I got.
You got a lot of people relying on you.
Yeah. So it's tough.
If you don't hunt with them, they're not hunting.
Right. So it's kind of tough. And I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to get
It's worth taking a day off one of those days and going.
I'm surprised you haven't gone out with Nolan yet.
I've got offers before with him. It's just And I'll say this right to Nolan. And I apologize for everybody else, but I'll say it to Nolan. But I feel like, and remind you, this is to Nolan, not nobody else. I feel like if you can't kill mallards or geese, you go diver hunting.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Because there's no calling. No, nothing. You just throw decoys. Like I said,
show up with some decoys, and that's that.
Yeah, this is to no one besides Nolan here. Nobody besides Nolan. If you can't kill mallards or geese, shoot divers, and that's just directly to Nolan. Nobody else.
It sounds like it, but if you don't have, as much time to put into it, if you just want to get out there and have some fun, then maybe that would be
It
a better option. You're just gonna
like
go spur of the moment, but
the diver
I've never done it
hunts,
myself.
They are fun. Don't get me wrong, but it was obviously like
Just to mess with Nolan, I know.
no Nolan. Yeah, Nolan. Whatever. Everybody else is to mess with, but I think
came out on one hunt.
Huh?
He came out on that one hunt.
Oh,
we saw like 1,000 birds.
Dude, my buddy's never been. Nolan has never been in a field hunting wise, and like Goodman just said, like we probably. I mean,
maybe over 1,000.
We seen from 7 o'clock till 11, 12 o'clock. There wasn't 5 minutes that we didn't see a flock of birds like working us, and they would get to us and just want nothing to do with us. Not pressured birds or anything. They're just kind of those stubborn, like mid-season birds. You ever run into those? Like you just they don't want anything to do with us. We shot 4 birds all day out of that 1,000, and all day no one was like, well, my buddy shot a limit of redheads and bluebills and this, that, and the other, yada, 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 and this is stupid. I don't know. And I felt so bad, dude, that I brought him out there. But there was, I mean, a stupid amount of birds out there.
Yeah. It could have been a great hunt.
I
mean, it was still fun. Just seeing all of them, it was crazy. I've never seen so many geese in one spot.
And what sucked the most was the night before I think I got a little buzzed up.
Mm-hmm.
I get to the field, and there's 15 of us. And I was like, whoa. Who invited all these guys?
People are sitting on each other's laps in the A-frames.
Well, we had enough. We have enough room. Don't get me wrong. Like, we'll make it work. But it's like, who invited all these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to look in my mirror and look at myself because it's like, yeah, that was all me right there to shoot 4 birds. We have 15 guys out there shooting 4 birds. It's like, we are horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. But, I mean, like I said, it was in the makings of it. But at the same time, no one can't shoot mallards, so he shoots divers.
But back to the reason I brought up the Mandarin duck, do you have plans to travel out of the States, or have you already?
Yeah, so once I'm done with the North American Waterfowl Grand Slam, I have no aspirations to shoot any other, like, such and such countries or continents slam. But one of my goals is to shoot something in every continent. Okay. One thing I haven't really thought out very well is, can I even do that in Antarctica? But other than that, I can do it. You know, I can go shoot something, and it's kind of a goal of mine. I've been to 3 continents now. Only ever shot them in 1, but I'd like to.
That's cool. Go
do some other stuff too. But
yeah, I heard.
No, I haven't. I Mandarin duck for sure on the list, but I think if anything, my first out of country trip will be either Africa or South America for ducks. But if I did Africa, it'd be big game. Which, dude, by the way, today I was talking to this dude when I was at work. He had just gotten home from this African safari trip a couple months back.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me all about that, and I was asking about costs and stuff, and said that, like, you can go there and shoot, you know, this, that, and the other 3-4 animals for, like, $3,500, $4,000, something like that. And I was saying, like, oh, dude, that ain't bad. How much did you need to spend when you were there? He's like, $35,000. Like,
whoa,
holy
dude.
Shit.
You might as well run a helicopter to take a bull elk out of the mountains of Colorado.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, and then
I'm going to take a break.
Yeah, you're good.
You guys keep talking.
Yeah.
How do you plan these trips? And are they mostly guided hunts? Are you hunting water, public land? How does that work?
Yeah, a lot of them are. I have done a decent amount of guided hunts. So last year I did Florida, which was guided, where I was chasing mottled ducks, fulvous ducks, like a stud blue wing and black belly whistling ducks, all that. That was guided. Tomorrow I'm leaving for Massachusetts. That's also going to be guided for common eiders and hopefully some other scoters. A lot of the rest of them, though, are just people that I met online or through friends. Like California for cinnamon teal is just met the guy through a friend, and we had already followed each other on Instagram, and now I'm gonna go and stay at his house for 3-4 days and shoot all these ducks over there, and
that's cool.
Which is awesome, and gonna be returning the favor. So we got. Hopefully the dude Riley in California will be coming up to Michigan, and I think my buddy Heath and I are going to pay for his flight and then get him out on some old squall and hopefully some black ducks and stuff out here that we get that they don't.
That's cool.
As far as the next couple of trips, though, it's getting to the point where it's going to become harder and harder to do it unguided. Because I'm getting to the point now where I have so many of them down, and I'm basically traveling across country to go target one bird that I hopefully get, just because the big bulk trips after this year are going to be done.
Yeah.
Knock
on wood. I don't want to jinx you, but
exactly,
have you had any unsuccessful trips where like you went out just to shoot an in particular bird and you didn't come out with that?
No. I've been super fortunate and blessed so far where I haven't had that issue. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's going to happen where I traveled to Alaska to go shoot this, and then don't, but get some other things. But
I mean, that's what's tough though too. And yeah, I'm back. Hopefully I wasn't too loud. But from what Goodman just said though, like I called you 3 days ago and was like, hey, we have this loaded field up right now. Like we are set for this weekend, and the next day they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's hunting.
Yeah, this is how it goes. And I got to the point where I think I talked about it last time we were together, but I'll say it again now too, is everybody, or at least I did, went through these stages of hunting where at first it was just like I said in the beginning of the podcast, like if I was lucky, I'd go out and shoot one or two.
Right.
And then I got to the point where I, said like, well, it's time to get serious about this or just, not do this anymore and actually start learning and trying to improve and get better. So then I started getting pretty decent at it, and we would go out and make piles. And then all I cared about was making piles. And then I'm looking at all these like people on Instagram like, holy shit, they got a lot of bands on their lanyard. I need bands. And then all I cared about was shooting a band. And then I kind of loaded up on those, and it was like, well, I don't care about that anymore. And then so it's just kind of like this evolution of hunters where you just have these phases, and I'm past all that now. I've evolved, and it's just become this like I just want to go have fun with my buddies, which is what duck hunting for me started as. Me and my buddy Dale would just go duck hunting. If we shot one duck, we were ecstatic. Like we couldn't top that feeling. And now we can go out there and shoot one duck or no ducks and be just as happy as if we shot a 10-man. And that's the point where I'm so glad I finally reached it and got past all these little petty things before. Like, I just want to make a pile or get a band or whatever. Like, I don't care about that. I just want to go have fun with my buddies. And we had a lot of hunts this year that were great. We had a shit ton that were not, And every single one of them, there wasn't an ounce of regret or anything. It was just fun.
And that's what, I feel like Goodman could even vouch for it, where, there's probably a quarter of the hunts out of the year where I don't even take my gun out of the case.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was it, last year? I think it was. Devin made some big joke that he took my shells or something like that, my gun bat, you remember that?
And you didn't even know.
And it was like halfway through the hunt, and I was like, hey, could somebody give me like some shells or something like that? And they're like, dude, it's been like halfway through the hunt.
We shot 30 birds already.
Yeah, like what have you been shooting? I was like, I haven't shot. Like, I just want some shells in my gun so I could finally start shooting. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, but like that's it. Like you said though, it's a whole process of it all. Like at first you're like, I just want to get out there. I don't care if I shoot anything or whatever it may be. Shoot one or two, and I'm stoked about it. And then it's like, okay, I'm getting into it now. I want to just shoot limits. I want to be able to be that big guy on social media, which I think social media is such a good and bad thing for every hunter.
Pros and cons.
Yeah. And I'll be the one to tell you, I feel like there's more cons than there are pros.
Agreed. Well, just as well as anybody that like I used to film and do this and do that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
We were talking about it beforehand. I haven't filmed a hunt since opening day last season. So
No, why is that though?
It took away from
the pleasure of it all.
Exactly, the fun aspect of it. Where like once we got halfway decent at this whole duck hunting thing, it was we would have this awesome volley, and I'd be thinking afterwards, like, shit, I didn't have my camera on or this or that. And instead of enjoying the moment, and so at a certain point in time, I was thinking, like, nah, I'm just done with it. And so I'll do some phone videos. And last year, we were hunting in New York for Brant. And the one video I took on the whole 3-day trip, the only video was a double
banded one,
tarsal band.
Yeah, I remember that
tarsals
one. Yeah.
And a backpack tracker. The one video I had, I got my buddy Nate shooting it on camera, and I was like, okay, well, I'll do phone videos here and there, and I'll make Instagram reels and stuff here and there. But
I think on the previous podcast we talked about that. Did you?
You got a picture or video of that,
dude?
That's like the one video I have on Instagram that did halfway decent.
Yeah,
I think it got like 500,000 views or something like that.
I remember that. I don't know. It's obviously different, and everybody grows on it. Because that's the way we met, was through a hunt of somebody that we know.
Yeah.
To say, lack of better words.
Mm-hmm.
With you and a GoPro and the YouTube situation. And it's just the growth of ourselves wise and that kind of stuff. And it sucks too, because I feel like everybody wants to film and want to be that good content creator, I guess, in a sense. But it's so tough, like when you're shooting birds like that and stuff. But I don't know, man. Like, there's some enjoyment for myself anyway that I enjoy almost filming and getting like reactions more than I do pulling the trigger.
And there's definitely a certain aspect of that. So when I was doing like GoPro, like head mounts and stuff, like this wasn't a very good content.
Yeah.
But when I went and bought like a nice $1,000 camera, and when I was filming with that, there was definitely enjoyment in that, because it was either A, I'm hunting, or B, I'm filming.
Right.
When trying to do both, it was like, all right, well, I'm taking away from one or the other, and I enjoy both. And it was just kind of this like 50-50 mixed reaction. But if you're doing one or the other, hell yeah. Send it.
Kind of off topic, but not really off topic. In your own opinion, like for like the photographers and stuff like that, going into these wetlands that we pay for, the duck stamps and all this other stuff, what's your opinion on them? Like just kind of going in there and doing that kind of stuff for nothing? Because I've heard on both standpoints where the photographers for taking waterfowl, like it's a. I don't even know if you've ever even been asked this question before, but
I haven't, but I see where you're going with it. I guess I'm 50-50. These wetlands and stuff isn't just for hunters. There's bird watching and all that's a huge thing. I like looking at ducks, but like I'm not trying to go bird watching. You know what I mean? So like it's not just for us; it's for them too. So I'm 50-50 on it, but I mean, are they also duck hunters if they're taking these pictures for like a call company or this or that, at which point they probably have a stamp, or if they're just trying to get pictures for the sake of getting pictures, are they contributing? Probably not. It's a fine line there of everybody's got their reasonings, and the odds are that the hunters are the ones that are the ones contributing to funding those sorts of things, to have the habitat to take pictures.
That's what I was going to say. Like, they're not hunting, but we're the ones that are giving them the opportunity in a sense, which I'm honestly like I'm kind of certain on where I even stand with it all, but we're giving them the opportunity with like the duck stamps every year and giving them the space to take pictures of the migratory birds. I don't know.
I don't really have a stance on that at all, but as long as the people that are out there doing that, taking photos and whatnot, are respectful and, you know, they pay their own way, whatever it is, you know, however they contribute, as long as they're doing something, right? Not disrespecting the land.
Right. I mean, there was just a huge.
It is what it is. I've never even heard of that debate, though.
There was what, a year ago, maybe. I mean, we're a little late on the debate, but there was like a while back. There was a huge debate. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I don't know if I did.
But like a huge debate on if like the photographers that are going into these wetlands and refuges, taking pictures, and having access back there, and like I said, like we're giving them like the wetlands and the areas to take pictures. Like if it wasn't for the people that are donating the money to it,
Yeah.
they weren't getting the content that they were looking for.
Well, hopefully those people that are out there taking pictures, you know, if they don't pay to get a duck stamp or whatever it is, hopefully they contribute in whatever their own way is, you know.
Yeah. Not
however they can.
On top of that, did you hear about the species?
With
the Ross and the...
Yeah, they're changing the name of a Ross goose because
and two other species.
Yeah, GoldenEye was one of them.
But what GoldenEye though?
Barrows.
Barrows GoldenEye and
I don't know what the third one was. I know that there are three. I did hear about this.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, it's Woke America.
Yeah, did you hear about that, Goodman?
No.
So Ross goose is
it's named after a biologist, I think, from
that
long ago.
All these birds, like they're I think they're changing like 16 of them, or wanting to change 16. But the three are like what's really sticking out right now. So like
who is they?
They,
and it's not even
like
it's not even like
they.
USGS or anything. It's not like a government.
It's
thing.
It's
just a civilian population of people that are trying to. Basically, from what I understand, specifically with Barrows GoldenEye, is that the scientist Barrows, whatever his name is, something Barrows, his ancestors, generations before him, were slave owners.
So
and now they have to change the name. Like not even the Barrows guy, the guy that the bird or the duck is named after. So it's one of those weird.
They are going after that name because it.
Gotcha.
Goes back to slavery when this Barrows guy or this Ross guy spent so much time and years researching this bird to the fact or to the point
where they named it after
him.
Gotcha.
Who's got that much time in their day to like look that kind of stuff up?
Right.
Like that's insane to me.
Who's that big of a Barrows GoldenEye fan where they're researching this Barrows guy?
Them
are
they
and them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just insane. Like that was super big. I mean, it still is super big, but it just broke what, a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe
something like that. Yeah, it's fairly recent.
I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I've never heard of that. I've never even heard of the other bird. The GoldenEyes I've heard of.
Well, there's two types of GoldenEye, though. That's the thing. Like,
gotcha.
The Barrows, I don't think is very common here.
Yeah.
Like Alaska.
I was going to say Alaska.
A lot of West Coast stuff, and people get lucky on the East Coast. But
yeah, but even the long-tailed duck.
That was the other one.
Yeah, well,
that one
that's
was changed
not
in like the 80s or something.
Well, that one was changed pretty recently, like 5-6 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't mark my words for it, but it was called the long-tailed duck or the old squaw. The Native Americans supposedly got offended by it, and now it's a long-tailed duck.
Gotcha.
And it's like I said, who was taking the time to research all that stuff?
I have no clue.
Are the Canadians going to get upset that we call them Canadian geese next?
It makes you wonder if you go on Facebook and find some forums about like we hate Barrows or something.
I mean, what's going on? You know what I mean? There's to go to a waterfall like that is just insane to me.
Yeah, of all the things that you can pursue to like create this social change, let's go for fucking ducks.
Yeah,
What
I
are we
mean,
doing?
right. And for the government to be accepting on that, though, on top of everything, for a guy to like research that bird for X amount of years or like whatever it is.
Is the government technically the ones that have final say on what it's called?
I mean, it's a federal.
The Department of.
I mean, it's federally managed. These birds are, so it's got to be.
Right.
Gotcha. I don't know how any of that works.
It's a non-government organization that's making
pushing
these
for the change. Yeah.
accusations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it's a what is it? A flight bird, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's another thing. Those birds are probably in multiple countries, right? They're probably in Canada and the United States.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, they're going from Alaska all the way down Canada and stopping at Washington, maybe a little bit further, but Oregon maybe.
It's nuts, man. Nuts that like what's coming about all this stuff.
That's a good point that you just made. So it's not even like a federal government thing, because that means that Canada also has to get on board with North America.
Yeah.
Or, the U.S.
I have no idea.
That's a tough subject, though, because you can make this like that same argument with like where we're at now. I mean, the studio here is literally a mile from the border. Right?
I mean, yeah.
Probably more than that. Probably 2 to 3.
No.
It's just right there, isn't it? The river's right here.
Technically,
well, you got to think of like you got to think on the
water.
Other side of Groseal.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe
far.
No, it's not far at all. It's not far at all.
Take a straight line. It's within 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say 2. We'll say 2 miles.
Yeah.
2 miles. So 2 miles away, you can shoot 6 ducks, no matter the sex of that bird. Which, granted, I don't know if that goes with divers or just puddlers, but I know that I shouldn't say I know, but I want to say that you can shoot 6 mallards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 6 mallards. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 6 hens, doesn't matter if it's 6 drakes or whatever it is. So what's the difference between us shooting 2 hens and 2 drakes compared to them shooting 6 mallards?
Yeah.
When it's this close.
Somebody decided that for you.
Huh?
Somebody decided that for you.
But you know what I'm saying? Though? I mean, that's a whole different debate with us being this close to the border, though. I know a guy that dumped minnows out during walleye season, and they almost seized his boat.
Whoa!
Because he was dumping American minnows in Canada water.
So here's a question: being so close to the border, only the river separating you, can you take a boat on the U.S. side with a Canada duck hunting license, duck hunt, and then come back with those birds, or do you have to go through customs?
I think you got to call in. Okay. Which I literally was just on the phone with the guy that told me that I don't know how to kill ducks today, and we talked about that. I think you have to call in and talk about your gun and all of that stuff, because Canada's duck season actually starts in September and goes like all the way to January.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, like the rules like in the States compared to Canada when it's this close. I guess is the moral
right there.
Right. I guess that's like the moral of the story with all of that. You know what I mean? It's just nuts. Like, how do they decide like the numbers of birds, like one pintail or one bluebill until this amount of days, and then you get to shoot 2?
You can go shoot 6 hen pintails right now, a mile down
Correct.
the road. Yeah.
Correct. Which, like I said, don't state me for that, but
Sure,
I'm pretty positive on that.
One thing I know is Canada's in the Detroit River. They've got these permanent blinds. I think I talked to you about that. Those things are so cool.
Yeah, I
Pull
mean,
your boat right up, get out of your boat, and sit on a bench in the middle of the river.
how many people say that about even us, though? We have 2 permanent blinds right now.
But that's on public land.
Right.
What I'm saying. Like, that's, I don't know who built those or if it was a person just
And that's
out
why
and wanted to do it or if that was
but
like their DNR.
I guess like my thought process is, though, what private property owner that you just met
Yeah.
3-4 years ago is allowing anybody to put permanent blinds on there just to jump in and hunt, and then leaving trails to get out to the blind, even if the rest of the field is tilled under or whatever it may be. Like,
That's got to be the goal.
to be able to be that fortunate enough to be able to do that kind of stuff. I mean, we have 2, which we'll show you tomorrow, the blinds, whether we walk out there or just drive by it, whatever it may be. But to be able to have those 2 permanent blinds in those locations, in solid locations at that,
Yeah.
just fortunate as all get out. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just,
Got to have good relationships with your farmers to make that happen.
yeah. And I've mentioned that a lot on here, where that takes a lot of time, where even out of season, you know what I mean? And I think me and you've talked about that a lot too. You know, and kind of topping that, I'll ask you another question, which might be a tough question to answer. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, and we don't going to drop
good.
anything. But how do you, like, because I personally, like, with growing the Great Lakes outdoors and doing all this and posting pictures, which honestly, like, it's so nice. And I've told so many people this so far this year, like, it's so nice not posting like pile pictures this year, because you'd be shocked on how many people, like, maybe not after the 30 phone calls tonight I've got, but how many people have reached out and were like, "Hey, dude, are you even like hunting this year? Like, what's going on?" Like, but it's so nice, like, not like Snapchatting any like pile pictures or anything. How do you overcome like the adversity or the challenges of other hunters out in your area? Because for us in general, it's been tough, but most of the hunters that are around us, we know, thankfully, over time, which when we first started, we didn't know. And we kind of built a relationship with them to kind of work, you know, somewhat with them. And some of them are, you know, we're still working on that. But how have you overcame like the problems, or what are you kind of facing? Like I said,
Sure. Yeah. No.
I know where you're thinking already, because me and you are thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I don't run into too many issues. There's one group in particular where, you know, we both hunt the same town just because it's a really good town, holds a lot of birds. There's a big river that doesn't freeze. There's a big wastewater that rarely freezes, and it just contains a lot of birds. I got a lot of permission there, and so does this other group. And, you know, in the past, at that point in time, there was a couple of shared permissions, and it was not not from my part, I can say that with all honesty and sincerity, but there wasn't a whole lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like back and forth or conversations as far as, you know, hey, I'm going to be hunting here. Where are you going? Just working together kind of thing. It was more of just like, hey, let's go sleep in the field and beat this Zack kid to it, you know? So I have dealt with that, and then some other extracurriculars that, you know, that took place during that were, you know, probably not the most not on my part, but just, immoral, unethical, hunting etiquette kind of deals that took place. I have dealt with that. It's been way, way, way more relaxed in the past year or two. This year there was one incident, and it was just a phone call. Hey, dude, that's me next to you. I didn't know you were hunting in that field. I'm hunting in this field, and it was fine. If there were birds working from his direction, we didn't call, we didn't flag, we didn't do anything. If there was birds coming from where I was, and he didn't call, he didn't flag, he didn't do anything, and it worked out great. So I have had those things in the past, and I think that there's this mutual understanding now of like, hey, dude, I'm not going anywhere, and you're not going anywhere. Let's not hurt each other or try and negatively affect each other. And there's always just been kind of that, from my part at least, I can say with all sincerity that I kind of always took the high road, and I would just sit there and kind of take some of the BS that was thrown my way. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to throw a fish, but I'm definitely not trying to do that on somebody else's property.
Right.
I'm not ruining a relationship with a farmer. So it was just like, all right, I don't want to lose this permission, so I'm just gonna sit here and take this, and my hunt's gonna be ruined, but I'll go have a good one the next day. So it's just always just
that positive upkeep wise.
I try my best. Yeah. And there are days where, it's tough to maintain that positive attitude when those things happen, but they haven't really happened too much lately, so it's been good. And like I said, I really don't worry about competition until, outside of early season and during the split. Those are really the only two times I got big competition, and other than that, I don't really have too many issues, and I don't really have anything to negative or complaints to make about it. So, it's been pretty good. I get where you're going with it. It's a tough question to answer in a political way.
It is tough because even this year where we've hunted this farm for X amount of years wise, it was actually the first farm that we've ever got permission on. Excuse me. Never had to deal with anybody. I go drop fish off to the farmer one night. And he's like, yeah, I just talked to some guys that just want to duck hunt though. They're going to be out there this weekend and they're just in a duck hunt though. And it's like, dude, they're doing the same thing, man. Like they're going to be shooting geese and ducks. Like it's the same thing. He's like, well, they haven't been out here for X amount of years and stuff like that, or 5 years or whatever. But they're just duck hunting. It's like, dude, they're coming out here because they see all the birds out here, and it's the field that we hunted Saturday. And luckily I got the guy's number, and I called him up, and I was like, hey man, listen, we have permission on it too. And, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, well, what do you have permission on? Kind of just testing each other as, waters, or, seeing what each other have, or, what we know was, And it's just communication, I feel like, is the biggest thing with even share permission, which we don't run into hardly ever. But in the sense of it, working together or hunting together or just talking back and forth and respecting one another's weekend, the first weekend that I talked to him, we gave him the entire weekend, and I think it was the Thanksgiving weekend, honestly, and we just gave him the whole entire weekend, and I was like, hey, dude, we're going to be hunting it Saturday, which was this previous Saturday, and hopefully you can kind of respect that, and everything was perfect. Good. But it was just...
that's the dream, you're going to run into those things. And when it works out like that and both parties are on the same page, don't mess with me, I don't mess with you, and we can be good for all of us.
And I invited him on a hunt. I actually invited him on the duck hunt Sunday, and because they hunted the field right after us, actually.
How'd that go for him, by the way?
They shot a handful of ducks out there.
Good.
Yeah, they shot a handful of ducks.
We couldn't.
Yeah, we couldn't shoot no ducks at all. But and they seen old Whitey out there too.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah. They seen Whitey out there. Hopefully we see Whitey tomorrow. But like I said, just communication is such a big thing, and people, and I feel like that's another con with social media because everybody's so bird hungry with so many different like aspects of this waterfowl industry, and it's. I almost feel like it's a lot of it is people thinking that they're too big than they actually are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When everybody is the same, like we have, the podcast, we got the social media, whatever it is, but we're no better than anybody else. I mean, like I said to you and said earlier on the podcast, like, tomorrow there's a high possibility we're not going to shoot a thing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But you know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing though. We're no better than anybody. We're going out there on the weekends and we're going to see what happens. And there were so many people when I first started coming around the area that were like, oh, you guys are guiding out there. You guys are doing this. You guys are doing that. And it's like, no, we're not, dude. We're just taking friends and family out there. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Just trying to have a good time.
We're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. You know what I mean, Goodman?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like I guess you dealt with that with us last year, even with people, saying we're guiding and whatnot, and it's just at the end of the day, it's like communication. Like the Dirty 30. With Justin, he called me one day last year, and he was like, "Hey, can you call me real quick when you get a free second?" So I called him up, and he's like, "Hey, you got a problem with me or anything?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know you like to have a problem with you. Like, I know who you are, but like I don't. If I don't even know you, how am I gonna have a problem with you? This year coming around, like we're." Not best friends, obviously, but like we've hunted together. He's helped us out tremendously, which I can't thank him enough for it. And it's a great relationship now. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, communication is the biggest thing.
Right.
I don't know.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know.
I wish everybody felt that way.
It takes a lot though, man, because like. You can't be so self-centered on some of that stuff, though, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, no, this is mine. No, it's not, dude. Like, you asked on it 8 years ago and you got permission. Like, it's still not your field. Like, we had a guy roll up on us 3-4 years ago or something like that. And they're like, hey, we have permission. I was like, no, I don't think you do. He's like, well, we're either hunting 100 yards away from you or hunting with you, so you guys pick. And I'm like, well, it was with Sean too. And I was like, well, I guess you're hunting with us then. First flock of birds come in, blow away one of my decoys. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now? Like,
no way.
Did you hear about early opening day for us?
I think you might have told me. I'm not sure.
So, Jimmy, we hunted the cornhole. There's, what did we shoot? 9-man limited geese that day. Like it was that was
probably the best hunt of the year. I mean, like numbers wise, and everything just worked out perfect.
It was stupid.
Yeah,
it was literally stupid. Like I barely even had to touch my call, but like understanding the birds, which is I feel like one of the biggest factors of bird waterfowl hunting is just understanding the birds. They just wanted to be there, and I think our best hunts this year, maybe the 2 or 3 hunts that we've had this year, we didn't run over a dozen decoys. What did you say?
Yeah.
At Brandon's place in the hole.
Yep.
I don't think we ran maybe 6 to 8 decoys tops.
Trying to think about some of the other hunts we've had, because there's been some days with some big spreads too.
No, 100%, 100%. But I mean, like,
But yeah, I would say so.
Like that realism spreads has like been our absolute best this year. But so we got a guy in our group, Jimmy, which you'll meet tomorrow. I call a shot. I got it on video. I'm watching these birds like coming in and stuff like that. And it's corn hide, And it was the video that he showed you before we started recording. So Jimmy stands up, points his gun, boom, rolls one of our SX decoys right over, dude. He thought it was a decoy because we had some birds in the hole. And I called the shot when the back group was like toenail dragging the water.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to SX for having realistic decoys.
Yeah, no kidding. So when he shot one of the decoys at like 10 yards away and just rolled that sucker, dude. Like you'll see the decoy tomorrow when we set up the spread, but just absolutely rolled it. And then his eyes after the fact was just huge. It was as big as like our sign right there. Just, oh, dude, it was the funniest thing ever.
There's at least 30 geese in front of us at this point too. It's like
Yeah.
he chooses the one that's a decoy.
Yeah, like 10 yards in front of him. Dude. Once you meet Jimmy, you'll understand. You'll understand.
I had a hunt this year with my buddy Trevor, and we tossed out these mallard floaters, water hunt, and the decoy didn't quite, or like the anchor didn't quite touch, and it started floating away, and like I don't know, it was foggy, like we could hardly see. And there's this one lone decoy way off to the side, and it's so foggy we can hardly even see it. We're like, oh shit, like we just landed a Drake mallard.
Oh.
Like, we're looking at it, I was like, bro, pop that, get that. And he's like, I can't believe we landed this thing, didn't even know it. He shoots it, decoy.
Oh my goodness.
It just floated away. It was so far away from the rest of the spread. We're like, how did we not see that thing coming in?
So speaking of that, Wiseau, like what kind of like spreads are you guys running? Like what like you get
On a
into
field
the
hunt?
field in the morning, yeah,
It just,
or water, whatever it is. Like
Sure.
what kind of spread?
I'm not too particular about brands and all that. If I'm like hunting geese, it's a combination of. I guess this depends on how big of a spread I'm going. I personally have 5 dozen full bodies, and then the rest of our group has another 5 dozen. So, if we're hunting geese and we're able to drive in, we're running 10 dozen.
Any
bodies.
silhouettes?
Sometimes. If we want to do a bigger spread, we're silhouettes. And we're mixing them. I have found to have like okay success just running silhouettes. Not great, but decent. If I'm mixing them, really, 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 really good success.
Justin, Robbie, and laundry boy Ryan will really appreciate you saying that.
Well, I was listening to your solo podcast the other day, and you were talking about that it was good for you.
They're coming on, I think, maybe tomorrow night. And not to cut you off, but I have been so against silhouettes, and I think it's just a confidence thing with silhouettes, or even like setting up blinds in the middle of the field, you know. And we went on a hunt with those guys on Thanksgiving, and the way those birds worked with mixing full bodies and silhouettes in, man, I tell you what, like, they set up the decoys, and you know how it is. Like, you show up in the morning, and I'm sure you're going to feel the same way, which absolutely no need in the morning. Like, you show up, and you're like, I don't want to kind of get in the way. I just, like, you guys do your thing, and you guys need help, let me know. Like, it's just the way it is on an invite hunt, you know what I mean? And they're setting up the decoys and stuff, and I am so anal about setting up decoys where it's like, don't even bring the decoys out to me. I will come grab them because I don't know where they're going to be at, but I got a picture in my head where, like, I'm going so much more of like the realism spread. Like, I think Saturday's hunt, our spread was probably 200 yards wide. Like, it was crazy wide. I think our furthest shot was 40 yards though.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe one time we shot at 40 yards and they were banking out of there.
Yeah.
other than that, they were like coming in. Obviously, like I said, within 40. But like, I have such like the realism spreads like as that like Joe Hines or Trevor Lupke out of Minnesota guys like I see those like videos and stuff like that, and I kind of want to match like what they're doing or like just make that realism spread. And don't bring the decoys out to me. Let me just figure it out, because if you put a decoy there, I guarantee you
it's going to get moved.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But I'm looking at their decoys in the morning with the dive bombs and stuff. I'm like, dude, we're not going to shoot anything, man. Like, this is not good at all. And we pounded the absolute shit out of the birds.
Mm-hmm. I've got a handful of days over dive bomb where whether they were my hunts or others, but I mean, shoot, even in Arkansas, I went in Arkansas, and like I said earlier, like I really enjoy the 3 to 5s, but I'll go on a 10-man, 15-man, no problem, and I'll enjoy every second of it. But when we were in Arkansas, dude, they were running 25-man hunts.
Holy smokes!
And we shot a 25-man limit all over dive bombs, A-frames in the middle of a field. 25-man limit of specs. Which
how many A-frames?
Gosh, that had to been like
That had
7,
been
8,
6 or 7. Yeah,
I mean, and these guys are the real deal out there. Like, they're really good at what they do. But I mean, you're comfortably fitting 3 because you're putting like, comfortably 3, and then they're typically putting like a 4th in between like the 2 sections where the 2 A-frames meet.
it had to been closer to 10 because we ran 15 guys out of 4. No, I guess like 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Yeah,
I would say probably
experience.
8 to 9 then if they're running 3 guys per blind though.
And then one person in between each where you buckle the A-frames.
True.
But
regardless,
and is that all people that you don't know?
Yeah. Well, that's some of the cool. You were asking me about like guided hunts and stuff in the past. I've been on some guided hunts and met some really, really cool people doing it. And
I bet.
One of the guys in Arkansas I met, we ended up hitting it off, and he's got this ranch out in Oklahoma, and was going out on an elk hunt with him in Oklahoma, which I didn't even know Oklahoma had elk, but ended up being able to do that, and it ended up being Nick's last minute. He unfortunately, like super young, had a stroke that killed him. But just little things. I know. Sorry to make this thing morbid over here, but
wow.
I mean, this like guided hunts. You meet some awesome people. Some really, really cool people. And I got friends in like Peoria, Illinois now that I can go hunt with. And I got a bunch of people down in Texas I can go and hunt with. And it's all, probably I'm sure like some quid pro quo, like, hey, come on up here to Michigan, I'll host you.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean.
That's cool though.
Yeah. But and another dive bomb story, and again, not like I'm not a dive bomb fan.
Whatever, dude.
Not a fangirl over here. I mean, like I said, mainly full bodied, but I'll mix them in when I need more. Same group of guys. The same year I went and shot that 25-man limit. Went back 1 month later to Arkansas. We shot 172 snows.
I remember that.
All over. Not even socks, just silhouettes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There were socks in there, but mainly silhouettes.
I mean, I will say
with the Ross Goose band, but who knows what the fuck you're supposed to call those now?
Yeah. That's racist, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, from like the time that I met you until now, and I'm sure that we could probably say this about both of ourselves. The growth that you personally have had in the last year or two, even. Because I mean, like,
probably the last 2 years.
Was it 4 years probably now since I first met you?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4.
And it's so nice to see like you succeeding as well as you are on the west side like that. I mean, some of those hunts that you've had over there and compared to what you were having till now, and I think we talked about that before. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort to be able to do what you're doing over there and to be able to understand the birds or the setup or whatever it may be. And, it's like I said, it's not that I have anything to do with it, but it is so nice as a friend to see you being so successful as you are.
Well, I
over
appreciate
there.
that, man. And I really don't have, what am I trying to say here? I guess the recent success in the last couple of years has solely come down to just asking questions. Like tomorrow, like I think this is the first time I've hunted on one of your hunts, not just a hunt that we were both on.
Yeah, for sure.
And so tomorrow it's probably just going to be me asking a bunch of questions, sounding
Right.
dumb, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?
Right.
It's not because I'm dumb. It's just because I'm like learning as much as I can. And
Which I think,
and that's my goal. And a lot of people probably think I'm dumb because I ask so many fucking questions.
but dude, and that's like the nice thing about that, because I remember probably 2 years ago now, I think like we finally like got Snapchat or whatever and not post whatever we were posting and whatever, and you would ask me all these questions and stuff, and it's such a nice feeling being able to like to answer and helping out, and then seeing like the process that you've gone through over the years.
Do you remember me sending you all those Snapchats years ago about like, hey, dude, I'm trying to get better on a goose call. How's it sound?
Yes.
And I would send you these sound profiles, and it was fucking terrible.
Yes, I
so
remember
bad.
that.
Now, like, I'm not like by any means an incredible caller, but I can hold my own. You know.
Right. No, I remember that.
It was bad, and you were trying so trying so hard to be polite, like, it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, just like I said though, it's so nice to see like the questions, and like I said, not that maybe even like the questions you've asked me that helped you out, but to, I guess, think in a way that like some of the questions that you've asked like helped you out to like
100%
to proceed with it all. You know what I mean? So it's super gratifying, like I said, to see you the way that you are, and getting the properties that you do now, and I'll say it again, like even this is what the podcast is for, is to help those people that are scared to answer the questions, and I like keep telling people like just like ask all the questions you possibly can, because you're not going to get any better if you don't. You know what I mean? Like, don't think that you're just some random person that's answering or asking a dumb question. Like, every question is a good question.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to these birds, because
they're ever changing. I mean, the way that we were hunting successfully 3 years ago,
it's different.
It's different.
Right.
It's constantly changing. I mean, I remember back when, all these silhouettes and stuff became the big deal, and everybody went from hunting over 3 to 5 dozen full bodies and layouts. Then it was 15, 20 dozen silhouettes in an A-frame in the middle of a field.
Yep.
And now, we're kind of getting back to small and real again. It's just constantly back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah. No, and maybe that's some of the reason why I went back to more of like the full body setup, just because of the fact that like we're able to drive the 4-wheelers and stuff out to fields and do this. Because I feel like everybody was running silhouettes and stuff, and I want to just be different in that standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, and be different from like the silhouettes from like the flight down.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many different like thought processes. Jeez, I think I threw like 7 extra S's in that. But I catch myself overthinking all of that stuff all the time.
Yeah, same.
And it eats me up every time. Like, you get one bird, like one flock not to work, and it's like, well, what do we do? And it's like,
right.
Let me just
you have to tell yourself,
take a
like,
seat back.
Just it was one flock. It's not every flock.
Right.
Let's see what happens. If it becomes a trend, then we make an adjustment. But it's not a trend yet.
That's what happened Saturday.
Yeah, Kyle will go out there and change up the decoy spread, and he'll think that's the problem, and Ray will say there's something wrong with the A-frame.
Yeah. And then I'll come sprinting back,
got
because
both of them, and 2 of them together, they get it together, and it turns out good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think that way.
It did Saturday.
I
Our buddy
think it was the 4-wheeler, honestly.
might have been, but our buddy had to leave at 9:00 on Saturday, and I think at that point we'd shot 2 birds,
2 or 4, something like that.
and we'd seen a bunch.
we're-
And finally he leaves, and the second he left,
Was
turned
it because
into a solid
I
hunt.
think it was like right when he left, my dad got the 4-wheeler, and because I'm sitting to myself, like it was my buddy that's Ohio DNR.
Yeah, I met him with Sean.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was up there with us
Yeah.
that day. Yeah. That's right. So he was out there with us this past weekend, and I was like, man, like I really, really don't want to be stuck at 4 birds like him up there and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, and granted, he gets that it's hunting, which any good hunter understands. Like it's hunting, like you can't predict the birds. Like everybody wishes that they could shoot a 10-man, 15-man limit every day, you know.
10-man limit of mandarin ducks.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, for myself, it's like, man, I hope we are doing better than 4, and then we move that 4-wheeler out of there. Brandon leaves, and next thing you know, we get birds that are decoying like right in the hole. I call the shot, and they're like, "Well, I didn't even know where the birds were." It's like, look in front of you, dude. The birds are right there. You remember that? Yeah. Jeez, oh, peas. I call the shot. It was like a 6-pack that do it, and they're like, "Well, we don't even know where the birds were at," and it's like, they're. What is it, 15 yards in front of you guys?
They're keeping their heads down like they're supposed to.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't complain about that. But, I mean, you give a, like...
It was on the other side of the blind to me, so I don't get excluded on this one.
No, me too. Yeah, no, you're on my side. But I'm just saying, like, they literally just had to pick up and shoot, and they were right there.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
And I think we shot 2. And it was just like, what are we doing?
Dude, I had somebody ask me the other day, and I'm curious to see your answer. Like, do you have a dream bird, whether it's a certain species or it's like a miner or a net collar or whatever? Do you have like a dream thing that you would love to shoot?
I mean, that's a tough question because me personally, I mean, it's a super good question.
And it's putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I feel like if you didn't want to shoot a miner or a collar bird, like, you're crazy.
100%. Do you have a miner?
I don't. I have a miner,
Uh-huh.
but it's not a killed miner. It's from the sanctuary, and so it's an actual miner band, but it's not from a bird
Gotcha.
that we've shot. I've never seen a miner killed. I've only seen 2 duck bands killed, which you've seen
2 in the last week.
30 every year. Yeah, I know. Don't rub it in my face.
They're not cool, by the way, guys.
Whatever.
Like, they're all local.
Whatever.
You know what I mean? Like,
Whatever.
when you shoot them 5 miles away from where they're banded.
Still,
it ain't
though,
all
I
that-
mean,
it
it's
ain't all
just,
that cool.
the one that we shot one was from Lansing, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And then the one we just shot, it was so stupid, dude. Like,
Wisconsin.
it was from Wisconsin, but we shoot all these birds in the one hole that you heard of the spot today.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably shoot, we just like, 150, 200 birds a year in that hole.
Yeah.
And we've never set a duck band out of there.
Which is surprising because you're pretty close to some banding spots.
Not far. We shot 1 goose band out of that field early season last year. That's it. Never set a duck band out of there, which we're
And you don't do you have one yet of the 2 that you've seen? Or did
no.
you? Okay.
No.
Well, dude, come out to my neck of the woods.
I'm telling you, I need to.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on the weather. As soon as we see that snow,
we need
we're out
to.
in that corn.
We need to.
Guaranteed.
But we hunt my buddy's backyard, and I show up late. Were you there on that hunt?
Yeah. It's the funniest little spot. It's awesome.
It's literally like the pond is as big as this room. Like, it's tiny. And a 2-pack comes in, and I send the dog after the 2, and I'm late. I don't even have my gun out of the case yet. And she brings the first bird back. And I grab the bird, and at this point in our, like in the cruise waterfall career, I guess, we don't even think about duck bands because like we don't shoot bands at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 500-600 birds a year for weekend warriors. I mean, in my opinion, that's pretty damn good.
Oh, that's real good.
And we don't even think about bands. Like if we shoot a band, it's like, holy smokes! Like
right, it's a surprise, which is the way it should be.
Super surprised because it's coming. Like I think our closest band was last year when we hunted in the one duck hole, but it was like 5 or 6 years old or whatever it was. But Elliot brings the first duck back. She drops it because I mean she's not whole. Listen, if the dog can bring the bird back 10 yards closer, it's 10 yards close to it, or I don't have to walk that other 10 yards. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. So she drops it by my feet and grabs the other one, and I pick it up, and I look at it. There's band on it. Grabs the other one. I pick up the other bird, and I walk to the blind. Don't say anything to anybody. Throw it at Brandon. And he's like, "You're kidding me." I was like, I don't even think I said anything.
No,
I played like straight poker face the entire time. And out of all places, that was a place to shoot the band in. It was absolutely insane that we never even, because Brandon's been watching these birds dumping into his pond and stuff, and we never thought one time, or he never even seen a band there. And to shoot 150, 200 birds at this other place every single year and to shoot a band there, it's like, holy smokes, man. But
you never know when it's going to happen.
Oh, dude, it was nuts, man.
I think we talked about it last year I went out on a solo hunt. It was like a day or two before I left for Arkansas on the second late season goose, which is in February. And got there and ended up setting up, and I wasn't even halfway set up. Like I had like zero brush on my layout blind, put out some decoys, and then there's birds starting to fly way too earlier than what they should have been. Quick hop in, not hidden at all. Landed these two, shot both. There was a 3-year-old band from semi-local, Lansing, same thing.
Okay.
Lansing bird, which for me was, 80 miles away. But yeah, like you just never know, And it was cool that it happened on a solo hunt, so there was there was no draw.
No,
Not that I'm band hungry. I don't really care about them at this point. I had my fun with that. I'm done with it. But it was just one of those cool things where like obviously if any duck hunter says I don't want a band, they're lying.
Right,
But there's
100%.
an etiquette with it. I'm not out
100%.
here like, oh, it's my field, it's my band. No,
That's what I think last year we shot a band. I think last year was the first time where we hunt where we shot bands, I think, that I can remember. And I think we shot 4 or 5. I got 1. And then my dad wanted to give me another one because, with all the time and driving or whatever, and it's like...
I think it was your birthday, too. Or was that the one you got?
No, the one that I got, we shot the 2 out of.
I swore I thought we shot one on your birthday last year, too. Because the one this year was on your birthday, or the day before, but...
Yeah.
I swore I thought it was, but maybe not.
I can't remember. Because the
But
one
we shot
was...
a few last year.
The one was across the street from the prison. We shot the 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then that single came in, Matt shot the 1. There was 3 or 4 or whatever. And my dad gave me the 1. And which I'm super happy with the group of guys that we have. And it's the same thing. It's like no one's really like, oh man, like we got to skin this bird to see who actually shot it. You know what I mean? Like no one's like that. Like,
is that a thing that happens? I've never heard. Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's some desperation for a band.
I'll tell you after the podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I know who you might be talking about, but good grief.
Yeah. But I ended up giving the band to Devin. You know what it was? It was the band that we shot the Snow Goose.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yep.
We shot
Yep.
I think we were very, very
Snow Goose,
close to our
Pintail.
14-man limit of mallards. And we shot 26 Canadians, 1 snow goose, and 1 banded Canadian goose. And my
a black
dad,
duck and a pintail.
2 blacks and a Drake pintail.
I remember this hunt.
Yes.
I had people texting me that day like, dude, do you know this Kyle guy?
Yeah.
Did you see that pile?
Yeah. Because I think you texted me about that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy hunt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is black ducks common for you guys over here?
no.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah, we shot 2 this year, I think it was, on that one hunt with Brad and Tanner.
I haven't seen one this year.
Were you there with Brad and Tanner?
No.
Isn't it?
It's been a weekend I was working.
I almost said it, but I didn't.
Talk about it after, but I don't think I've been on a hunt this year with one.
When Brad and Tanner brought the boat?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you must not have been there. We shot 2 that day. But yeah,
I thought we
huh?
were seeing them last week, right?
They were in the hole.
Yeah.
But and that's what was surprising too. They were in the hole. From that picture I showed you, there was like 10 of them there. We never shot one of them. I was shocked. But yeah, 2 black ducks, a Drake pintail, a snow goose, a banded goose, and close to a 14-man limit of mallards.
Yeah.
Dang.
But that's what I was saying. Like,
That's pretty tough to beat.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's a once in a lifetime hunt.
Well, and that's what like we talked about earlier. It's like, some of these guys don't realize like these guys pay, we'll say $300 per hunt for hunts like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for
You know
me
what I
at
mean?
that point when I was on that hunt, I was so new to it that I was just like,
Yeah, no.
I mean, obviously there were so many birds that we've seen that day that I was like, holy shit, what is going on? But then we're shooting these different species of birds, and I at the time probably didn't appreciate like what was going on.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Was like, what as a new hunter at that point in time, like
It was awesome, but
did you recognize at that point like how
just from talking to Kyle about,
this is not an everyday thing?
yeah, exactly. But obviously, shooting the different species of birds was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
had no
I think
idea,
what
but-
sucked about that hunt the most, I think we ended up like 8 short of our 14-man, so
Yeah.
like 13 or whatever
12,
it was, yeah. But there was a point during the hunt, and it was fairly early on mallards, where I shut the entire hunt down, in which we have been doing a spectacular job,
Yeah,
which
better
there's
job.
been a couple hunts where it's like been like, what the heck are we doing? But keeping our ducks right behind us so we
Yeah.
know exactly.
Everybody knows what they have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to have like, hey, we got to limit up to these guys right here. Like these guys shoot, and this is like what we're shooting for. Then it was just a giant pile basically, and we're like, what's even going on? So I shut the hunt down, and I'm like, hey, we gotta count these birds out before I don't care what flies in front of us, let's count these birds. And as soon as I said that, my buddy's like, pintail's like, shoot it, like we're shooting that bird right there. So we shot that pintail, and there's like 200 mallards on top of us, like just dumping into us. So we could have easily shot the 8 more, whatever it was. But
Yeah.
there's been a couple hunts even too where it's like you get even close, I don't even want to like get too close, if that makes sense. Like I would rather just like cut it off.
Yeah, especially when you have that many guns, and it's like, all right,
Right.
we need one more.
Yeah,
You
no.
either have to choose somebody.
you got to
Right.
choose somebody.
or
Yeah, it's too tough. I mean,
I'd rather finish a handful shy every time than risk.
Yeah, 100%. And especially like if you have Devin shooting the last one, like you're gonna be there a long time.
Right.
I don't know. That it's just like one of those things where does that one or two more really matter? No. Like I'd rather just be safe and legal with it all. But I don't know. I don't know. With the struggle, as much as we've been struggling this year, we've also been very positive this year as well.
Yeah.
This year, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
100%.
I think that sums it up. It could be a lot worse. We've made a lot out of a little.
100%.
I think that's the best way to put it.
One thing I told myself a lot this year too is like, sometimes, getting back to the whole like, well, just get back to having fun with your buddies, whether it's good or bad. One thing I had to tell myself a handful of times is like, hey, just like look back at 7-8 years ago when I was ecstatic to shoot 20 ducks in one season when I hunted, 25 times.
Right.
Would I be happy with this 300 bird count that I'm at right now, hunting with 3 to 5 guys on average each weekend? Well, hell yeah, it would be,
Right. And that's the tough part. So I think there's two geese roosted on the water. Way to go, dude.
Someone can edit that out. Fuck.
Meatball will edit it out. Don't worry.
Fuck.
But
Fuck. Make sure you make a note of that.
Yes, in that location.
All right. Back to it.
Because they've been setting my camera off.
Can you grab me another one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You just edit all this out.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
What's your editing guy's name?
Meatball.
Can you do that?
Meatball, you do a great job, bro.
Meatball?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna text him.
So
right
he
now.
can like look for flags and see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
My bad.
No, it's all good, dude. No, yeah, big shout out to Meatball. Meatball does so. Meatball works in my company.
Okay.
He's an apprentice, and I get on this job site, and I'm like wiring up a transformer, I think it was, and the foreman brings in the apprentice. Is like, hey, this is our new guy in the company, this, that, and the other, and I was like, what's up, you little meatball? And now the entire company calls him Meatball. So that's his name. And he's the one that edits, and he without him, we wouldn't be able to do this for sure, because I am not tech savvy like he is. So big shout out to him. But
What were you talking about, though?
that's what I was just going to ask you the same thing.
Try and jump back into it. You were saying something and you looked at your phone.
Oh, 2 geese roosted on the.
That's
something.
what you said.
Yeah.
On the pond.
Yeah, but before that, you were thinking about something to say.
I don't know. I can jump back into how far that. Like I know that. Like I brought up like how far you've came, but like, even like just both of us to an extent.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
With learning, and I'll tell you what, like it's hard to find, what bird nerds, I guess you want to say.
So, what
bird nerds, like wanting to learn like about
the
bird lingo and all that kind of stuff. Like it's like I'll listen to Nick J all the time, and it's like I listen to him for days. Hey, have you ever listened to anything from him? Like
he's got some good stuff. He's smart.
He is
Nick J.
Yep, Johnson.
Nick Johnson is his name. He is like insanely intelligent on just birds in general.
Every aspect of them.
Yeah, and he's so like just. I don't know. Like I said, I can listen to him all the time and just learn off of that. Absolutely insane. And even like the YouTube videos, which I said before too, where I won't even care. I don't care about like the killing aspect of it all. Like I look at videos and short clips like that, like just decoy spreads or calling or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like the short stuff. And
You know who is really helpful for me too is, do you know Toso?
yeah, Trent.
Yeah. Dude, so he's like a super shy guy, and I was lucky enough to hunt with him in North Dakota. And in person, he's not quite as shy, and he's very open to answer questions, but he's not like big on social media and stuff.
Right. He's not big at all.
No.
Right? Yeah.
No, but, you know, in person, definitely. And like I said, it's pure luck where I ended up on a hunt with a guy.
Right.
Dude, he taught me a ton of stuff. And just watching the way that he could read birds,
Yeah.
I feel like just watching him on a hunt improved my hunting tenfold. Just the birds are doing this. What's he doing? I'm looking at him.
Right.
And I'm watching what he's doing on the call. And I was like, oh, damn, I wouldn't have done that. And then I started doing the stuff that he was doing. I was like, holy shit, it works. He's one of those guys, man, where I feel like he would be very open to answer questions if I were to call him.
So, I mean, out of all like the places that you've been and the people that you've met, what is like your biggest takeaway from the stuff that you've met from everybody?
There's something to everybody that duck hunts, whether they're new, old, been doing it for forever, really talented, whatever the case may be, you can learn something from everybody.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where you are.
Good or
you
bad.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, definitely the bad part. I've learned a lot of things not to do.
Right.
And then from a handful of people or a lot of people, I learned a lot of good things to do.
Us tomorrow.
Right. But yeah, dude, like there's something to learn from everybody.
There's definitely the wrong thing to learn.
Yeah.
Like jumping over a pile of ducks after Devin.
Dude, I got to give a shout out to this.
Might have to flag that one too. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I got to give a shout out to my dude Casey, by the way, in Florida. He's the guy I shot all these, you know, Florida like tree ducks with and stud blueing and all that for the wall, and super talented dude. Just he's one of those guys that can just he'll figure it out on the fly. Like if we end up in the wrong spot, he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna get us on the birds. Like he's just a super talented, for a lack of better terms, killer. Like he can figure it out how to make a, you know, a shitty situation a really good situation. And dude, like the first time I was like, you know, I made like a Facebook post like, hey, I'm thinking about going shooting these. You know, these are my target birds in Florida. Who's the guy? And like every comment was like, go see this guy Casey. And so I called this dude up, you know, find him on Facebook, whatever it was. Call him up and I was like, hey man, like this is kind of what I want to do. He's like, yep, I got this species package. It was a guided hunt. He's like, I got this species package, this, that, and the other. And like super like Florida Southern boy kind of mannerisms. Like, oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. We can make that happen. Can I shoot this? Oh, yes, sir. If you want to do this, we'll do this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like, I'm getting there.
Like, I'm a kid.
Yeah, like, I'm getting there expecting to hunt with this, like, super, like, I don't know, like...
young kid.
Not even that, but just, like, I don't know. It was just, like, the way that he spoke was just... It really impressed me over the phone. You know?
How old is the guy?
He's not much. I mean, I'm turning 30 next week. You know, like he's probably my age.
I forgot
dude, I got a baby face, bro.
I always forget that.
I know, dude. I've been in the military. I retire in 7 years. 7 years.
Jeez, oh Pete.
I know, dude. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm talking to this dude Casey. He's like, "Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can do this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." Dude, I get to this dude's house the day of the hunt. Get out of my car. He comes, meets me at my door. Like, sup, motherfucker? I was like,
he said it to you?
Yeah. I was like,
that's like what you say to me.
Yeah. I was like, this dude's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to be hunting with like a prior service Marine or something. Yeah, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then get out and he says that. I was like, yeah, dude, that guy, man, he can kill him and he's funny as hell.
Dude,
if you ever get the chance to go duck hunt in Florida, man, he's the dude.
I feel Casey. Like we have to tell a story about you and Smelly or whatever the hell that guy's name was.
I don't know who you're talking about.
When you guys walked into the house.
hold on a second. So wait, there's a smelly, there's a meatball.
I forget.
I've got a buddy
Lem.
named Smelly,
Lem.
but yeah, Lem.
I feel like we have
Oh
to have
my
that.
God.
Dude, listen to this story here.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
man. So we show up, and this is probably the earliest we've.
Well,
hunted this year.
like prior though, like the night before. And I don't want to be like that guy that cut you off, like
No,
when
you're
I
good,
just
you're good.
told you to tell a story. But like the night before, I was like, hey, like 5 o'clock, like show up to the house, whatever it is, like show up. But
Yeah. We show up to Kyle's house, me and my buddy, and
Smelly.
never hunted, like
not-
never even met this guy before.
not Smelly, but we show up. I'm knocking on the door. Dog's going crazy inside, calling Kyle. He's not answering.
No.
Whatever. He finally opens the door. I walk inside. He sits right back down on the couch. I'm like, all right, I'll just sit down on the couch. It's like, he's not in a rush. I'm on time today. He probably
Right.
just told me to come a little bit early.
Right.
And
Which I think I did.
yeah, but sit down, and Kyle cracks a beer. I'm like, what's up? What's up, dude?
I was like, what are you
Like,
talking about?
What are you
What's
guys?
up?
He's like, what are you guys doing? Like, just here, ready to hunt. He's like, what do you mean, man? Like,
I'm out of it still. Like I'm still like half asleep. But like
yeah.
I see those guys come in. I see a full can of I see a beer next to me. I was like, oh, you guys are here to like party or hang out, whatever. Like, yeah, I'll crack a beer, whatever.
He's like, what brings you to this neck of the woods? Like, what brings you guys over here? We're like, we're coming to hunt.
Because like we're like
He's like, yeah, I know, but like,
we're 15 minutes like north.
yeah. He's like, what brings you guys over here? Just like we're hunting. Like it's 5. He's like, it's 5. Looks at his phone. Oh, goes and immediately
I was
dumps,
like,
dumps
What'd you
out the
think, it was,
beer.
like midnight or something?
Dude, I literally thought it was like 5 in the afternoon because I fell asleep on the couch and he's like, dude, it's 5 in the morning. We're here because you told us to be here at 5. Like I'm here to hunt. You said like we're going to hunt, and I was like, wait, it's 5 in the morning. I looked at my phone. I immediately went to the kitchen, dumped the beer out, and we didn't shoot shit.
Yeah, I mean, even just being the weekend warriors, your sleep schedule gets messed up.
Oh yeah,
It gets messed up.
It'll
Good.
throw you through the ringer, dude.
I'm telling you, dude. Even through the week, every day, damn near, I am up at 4 o'clock every morning, whether I want to be or not. Like I am so
I cannot do that.
like, yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
No, like that, like that's, I have to wake up at 6, and have to be out the house at 6:30 to be on time at work. But naturally, I am up at 4, and it sucks. But no,
Even
that
on non-hunting days?
yeah, on my work days, yeah, on 4 o'clock, because I'm telling you right now, from I'll say the beginning of August till we're done, I don't think there's too many days where I'm sleeping past 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Like, because August time is when we're getting after the pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
And there might have been, 2 or 3 days this year where we've slept in, maybe?
Yeah. There's at least one weekend, but other than that, I don't know. And you might have been deer hunting that weekend anyway.
Dude, even during I think walleye season might be your time to sleep in, because whenever I make the trip up here for walleye, we're linking up at 8, just to avoid the boat traffic at the sunrise.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's tough even too. Like during walleye season, turkey season's right there too. So I'm
That's
even
true.
waking up
Yeah, that's
to
true.
start scouting for turkeys, because same thing. I like to get out early, which Trevor shot his first turkey this year.
Oh, dude, congrats.
It was awesome.
It was a wild hunt. The guy that we were talking about earlier on the phone with my buddy, that was the sucker fish.
Yeah.
Yada 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 yada.
Yeah, I think the full story has already been told on the podcast.
Yeah, but yeah. Trevor went out and was trying to film the first day with my buddy Mike, and then Mike and Trevor doubled up the second day.
Nice.
But I tell you what, though, the turkeys, though,
Dude,
I almost like them better than the waterfowl, honestly.
what?
I'm telling you.
I've only ever shot 2. And I think I'm going to start doing it quite a bit more, and it is fun, but I don't think anything for me will top waterfowl. Like, I've never done anything in my life and just immediately thought, I'm going to dedicate every penny of my money, every free second that my wife allows me to be away towards this.
See,
until waterfowl.
I think that's where, like, a little bit of it is different between me and you, but at the same time, it's the same. Because what I always joke around about is I'm running a nonprofit guide service, and what I would rather see is somebody else go out there and shoot ducks or geese or a turkey or whatever it is, and me be able to put somebody into a situation where they wouldn't be able to put themselves at.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many years have you turkey hunted? 2 or 3?
Yeah, growing up, I turkey hunted a lot and never had success.
So like for me, being able to put like him in that situation means more than me killing a bird.
I get that.
You know what I mean? So
and I think the thing that maybe is making me feel differently about it is that, you know, I guess we haven't talked about today, is that, well, as you know, I guide salmon fishing.
yeah,
And I have since around 2008, 2007. And still currently do, you know, not nearly as much now, obviously, you know, having the job I do, but, you know, I still do 10, 15 trips a year. And I think maybe I just get some of that gratification from that aspect of.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's just that point of making that happen for others.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean, that gets me going.
Yeah, there's something to it.
But no, we've been going for a heck of a while.
Yeah, we got to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, in 4 hours.
Yep.
Sounds exciting.
That's early. No, but thank you again, Zach, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that we can get something going tomorrow morning, because
Last weekend,
but I'm just hoping that we can figure something out. We've been talking about this for a while, so I mean, just to get you out here and see kind of the countryside that we hunt and see what we kind of do. You know, thankful that you're making the trip over before you head over to, what was it again? Massachusetts?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know, but anything that you want to say? Your Instagram, Snapagram?
Yeah,
anything?
sure. Instagram is Zach Young Outdoors, and I mean, I guess there's not really a whole lot on it nowadays, but I try to keep up with it a little bit. But, yeah, Zach Young Outdoors.
Hopefully, in the future we can get more and more, together and stuff, and figure some more stuff out. Even walleye season, or maybe even turkey season. Who knows?
Yeah.
For us, I mean, I like always the Migra ammunition. I don't know if you've shot those before.
I did for the first time this year, dude.
What'd you think?
Dude, it claps.
I'm telling you, dude. I try to tell everybody.
Joke. You could hear the BBs hitting the bird.
I think our entire group shoots Migra, right?
Yep. Everybody's on it now.
And I try to tell everybody before they shoot it, it's dumb.
Yeah.
like stupid, especially those dirty singles that I magically get to shoot every single time. There's always a single duck every single hunt that I purposely don't call a shot on. And I just stand up and
dump it,
blast away. But no, migraine ammunition, GK calls, which we've talked about too.
Oh yeah,
Glenn, everybody over there are just absolute great guys. I mean, the guys that do call in our group, nothing but GK, and like I said, can't tell you enough about it. The Gator decoy poles. Have you heard about those guys? Those guys, Gator decoys, are coming out with some stuff very soon, but they have poles right now that instead of like the Mojo poles clicking together and you have 20 different pieces together, they got one piece, you unscrew it, you can prolong it.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, you know,
Man, as short, as tall as you want.
Exactly.
Dude, that's badass.
So look into those guys. Essex decoys. Am I missing anybody else?
Paracord Labs.
Yeah, Paracord Labs, my sister. And I do want to say shout out to Essex for making a decoy strong enough to withhold Jimmy's shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anything else?
No, man.
Anything else for you?
Nope.
Zach,
Good to go.
I appreciate you coming in, man.
Dude, thanks for having me.
It's been a very long time coming. And until next time.